Okay, here's a quick mini lesson on fractions. First, we'll tackle negative fractions. What do the following three fractions have in common? Negative 20 over 5, negative 20 over positive 5, and positive 20 over negative 5. Pause the video and see what you come up with. Well, did you come up with the following conclusion? That they all represent the same value, negative 4, which means that they're all equivalent. So let's think about this for a second. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and if you make that negative, you get negative 4. Negative 20 divided by 5 is also negative 4, and 20 divided by negative 5 is also negative 4. So this implies that a negative rational number, which is just any number that can be written as a fraction, can be represented one of three different ways: as negative a over b, as negative a over positive b, or a over negative b. Now, most of the time, it doesn't matter how a negative fraction is represented, although negative a over b is the preferred notation. So you should never really write negative a over positive b or a over negative b, but just the fraction a over b, and you put the negative side in front of it. However, when a fraction represents the rate of change or slope of a linear function, interpreting it in different ways becomes very useful, as we'll see in later lessons. So recall that slope is delta y over delta x, or the change in y over the change in x. That's what delta means, the change in. And this change can be positive or negative. So for example, how would the slope negative 5/4 properly be interpreted? Consider that this fraction can be written two other ways: as negative 5 over positive 4, and as positive 5 over negative 4, because all three ways represent the same value. This means that negative 5/4 can be interpreted two different ways: as negative 5 over 4, where y is decreasing by 5 as x increases by 4, or as 5 over negative 4, where y is increasing by 5 as x decreases by 4. Both interpretations are correct and, more importantly, are equivalent. All right, a continuation of the minion lesson, let's tackle positive fractions. What do the following two fractions have in common? 20 over 5 and negative 20 over negative 5. Again, pause the video and see what you come up with. All right, shouldn't be too much of a surprise that they both represent the same value, 4, which means they are equivalent. 20 divided by 5 is positive 4, and negative 20 divided by negative 5 is also positive 4. So you probably see where I'm going to go with this. This implies that a positive rational number, or a number that can be written as a fraction, can be represented one of two ways: as a over b, or as negative a over negative b. Now, of course, this is the preferred way. All right. So how could the slope 3/4 be interpreted? A straightforward reading would be as y increases by 3, x increases by 4. And this is the way you should normally think about a slope, or the slope 3/4. However, since negative 3 over negative 4 is an equivalent fraction, another equally valid interpretation would be as y decreases by 3, x decreases by 4. These different ways of interpreting fractions become very, very useful when you're trying to graph linear functions.